Life Audio.
Hi friends, Don Hawkins here. Today I'm excited to give you an episode preview of another podcast on Life Audio called Gospel Rant. The host, Dr. Bill Senyard, has just launched a new series all about love. Here's a sneak peek.
So when people begin to fall in love, their brains become active in a couple of key regions. These are the same areas that become active with other things like sex and food and drugs and music, right? Sex, drugs, rock and roll. In brain scans, these areas light up when you're falling in love. Chemicals associated with the reward circuit flood your brain. They produce a variety of physical and emotional responses in light speed, by the way. So racing heart, sweaty palms, flushed cheeks, feelings of passion and anxiety, a desire to write horrible poetry, to text people 20 times a day. Look, it may sound strange, but the beginning of romantic love is associated with the stress response that's triggered by your hypothalamus. And you know that nervous excitement and anxiety you feel while you're falling for someone? During the initial stages of falling in love, your stress levels skyrocket. I mean, you've heard of cortisol, the stress hormone, most familiar with the fight, flight, freeze cycles. Our body recognizes love as a crisis that must be managed. Oh, my goodness. As cortisol levels rise, the levels of the neurotransmitter serotonin become depleted. This leads to what one scholar refers to as the intrusive, maddening, preoccupying thoughts, hopes, and terrors of early love. Not exactly a Hallmark card or a Disney Channel movie. It's two people who become OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, right? And it is a disorder. That's how your brain sees it. They can only focus on one person, one thing. You can't live that way, but tell that to people in love, right? And then as you fall more deeply in love, your brain becomes engorged in dopamine. This is the good stuff. Dopamine's associated with your body's reward system. This makes love a ridiculously desirable feeling. You get dope highs when there's other things, right? Like chocolate and jogging. It's the brain chemical that uncontrolled will lead to addiction. It's good. I mean, you want it. Life without dopamine is not a good thing. I'll say more. And that kicks off a bigger reward circuit. So the more you are with the other and talk to each other, the more pleasure your brain is experiencing. And your brain is linking being with the other with this dopamine hit. And when you separate, you go through a bit of a withdrawal. Doesn't that explain so much? The immediate pleasure, the euphoria goes away. You need a hit of something. And in one study, again, not Hallmark, male fruit flies who were separated from their female counterparts, they drank 4 times as much alcohol as fruit flies that were with female fruit flies. How many times in weddings have you heard the words, "You're like fruit flies"? You're jonesing for each other. But that's what happens inside of our brain. And as romance grows, your brain releases even more chemicals. There's oxytocin, there's vasopressin, and these deepen your feelings of attachment. They make you feel closer to one another. By the way, little known fact, they actually cause you to like others around you less. So you love the person you're in love with more, and you love the people around you less. Isn't that interesting? Not quite sure what to do with that. So anyway, you're inundated with feelings of contentment, calmness, security, all good. And it produces this internal desire for long-term monogamous relationship. This is how God made us. That's science speak for faithfulness. But honestly, it's your brain and brain chemicals kicking off when you're in a relationship. You become addicted to this person, this particular person. It's what God does. It's a gift.
To continue listening to the snippet you just heard, please check out today's show notes or search Gospel Rant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can also head over to lifeaudio.com to learn more about the show. Have a great day.
Our world can feel chaotic and uncertain, but we don't have to live enslaved to fear. Christ has promised you and I His peace, and throughout Scripture, He has provided powerful truths and practical steps to help us experience greater freedom. I'm Jennifer Slattery, lead host of the Faith Over Fear podcast, inviting you to join me and my team as together we learn how to starve our fears and grow our faith. Subscribe at lifeaudio.com.
I found myself on a ledge, 3 stories high at some condominiums, contemplating my life and struggling to understand my purpose. Have you ever found yourself on the ledge? My name is Billy Yant. I'm a caring father, mentor, and friend. In my new podcast, Billy and the Goat, I share the life-changing events that shaped who I am today to remind you that no matter how far you've fallen, God can help you get up and thrive. Listen now at lifeaudio.com.